Hey, everybody. I'm
Hey.
Dee.
And I'm Bill.
We got Bill, and we got our special guest, Jeff from Exploring Harley. We are Beyond the Boundaries podcast. And I think I should have said Exploring Harvey after all. Harley after all.
Apology.
I apologize in advance to everybody. I'm still I had surgery, so I'm still like recovering and a little out of it, but we're gonna make do.
No worries.
Hey, Joseph. Hey, Z. How you guys doing?
Yeah, we see some viewers from my channel, The Outcast. Those are my friends Matthew and Benjamin and Alex. I just came back from an investigation with them in the basement of a church. It's the hometown of strongman Louis Cyr, and there's about 50 bodies. We thought it was like about 10 or 12, but we learned that there's about 50 bodies buried under that.
Oh, wow, 50.
Yeah.
That's pretty crazy.
That's
right. So coming from, from the United States over here, we haven't explored Canada too much. So tell us, some of your favorite locations to go to, especially for we ever decide to
make a little trip up there.
Yeah. What do you suggest?
I have a place that if you come here, I will bring you there because it's one of the most preserved courthouse of, I would say, more preserved 19th century courthouse in Canada. You walk into that courthouse, it's still all original in wood. All the benches are made the same way, and it's crazy active. Because for a while it was like the only courthouse for the surrounding, so they had everything. They had hangings. They even lynched a poor native that unfortunately killed a white lady while he was drunk, so they lynched him in the backyard on the tree, and the tree's still there to this day. And during the big tuberculosis outbreak in the late 1800s, they used the courthouse as a hospital, and the most sick kids they would put them in the basement. So I had my music box go off on command. On command. I said, "Can you go and touch that box if you want us to move?" And it goes like 5 seconds, not even. It's crazy active.
That place sounds amazing to investigate. Yeah.
Right here in my backyard in Trois-Rivières, we have the oldest jail still, the oldest still standing jail in Canada. Dates back to they started building it in 1815, but they ran out of funds in 1819. They rebuild it 1822. In 1820, and they finished it in 1822. So last year was the 200th anniversary of that jail. And I had the opportunity to investigate it.
Nice.
And the last crew that was there to investigate it was a TV crew, and it was in the late 1990s.
So they don't let anybody go out there, basically.
Well, it's a museum, and
they
don't really. It's not that they don't allow it. It's that the previous administration didn't believe in ghosts, but the previous administration they
don't advertise it or anything like that.
Exactly, but they won't spit on, like, if you want to rent the place, they'll rent you the place.
They'll let you do whatever you want, basically.
Exactly,
for the money.
We have old graveyards battlefields. We have the Plains of Abrahams, about an hour and 15 minutes from where I live. The Plains of Abrahams, for those who don't know where it is, it's like where basically North America, where everything changed. It's where the British took over Canada and mostly North America. So we have that battlefield right there. Montreal is an hour and a half from me. That's Ben from the Outcast.
Hey, Ben.
Hey.
Welcome.
We went investigate the former site where we don't have access anymore to the place. I've learned that they've started some excavating and possibly building new buildings. It's the site of a former cult. And the cult, it did group sacrifices and group suicides.
Oh, wow. But if they're going to be excavating and building, that's going to ramp up a lot of activity, right?
Yeah, but our medium told us that there's still bodies buried there.
Oh,
she felt that. If they found them,
there's still more to find.
If they find them, they're gonna have to call the police because it's gonna be cold cases or stuff like that. So we have great spots, great places. That's only in Quebec. We have the East Coast down in Nova Scotia. It's it's the oldest part of Canada, probably the oldest part of North America. You have Fort Louis-Bourg over there. You have multiple places that you can investigate. I went to investigate a former pork farm. It's like white crosses in the woods, like just buried the body there and just like leave them there.
Yeah.
It's in Ontario. I went to investigate the most haunted Airbnb in Ontario. That is the Peck House. Crazy active. You can rent it. It's an Airbnb. Just check Peck House on Airbnb and you'll find it.
Okay.
So
many places we have. That's what I want to promote.
I feel like we don't learn in the US. I feel like I don't learn enough about Canada to like know how much well, I know Canada has a ton of history and
we just don't know any of it.
They
don't teach us.
And that's why I want.
You piqued my interest. I feel like we might have to do a team trip.
That's what I want to do. I want to promote Canada. I want to show that in Canada we have haunted spots, and some of those haunted spots, well, you can go there and rent them, and some of them are free to use because it's a battlefield or it's an old graveyard. So yeah, come and visit. We want. And I have my friend Dom. He's in Montreal and he works for a company called Haunted Montreal. They give haunted tours.
Oh,
so
sweet.
if you want to know haunted spots in Montreal, and one of the largest graveyard, in North America, in Montreal, on Mount Royal, there's about 2.5 million people buried there.
Million?
Jesus.
That's insane.
It's insane. It's huge. It's massive graveyard. And I'm pretty sure to this day, I still believe it, that I've seen a full-bodied apparition with 8 other people.
So you and 8 other people witnessed this?
Because we were investigating a tomb, and all of a sudden we all turn around and there's a lady in white walking.
Just walking?
But the way she was walking, it's like she was floating.
Kind of like gliding.
When I noticed that, I told my friend Dom, she's not walking, she's floating.
Wow.
And we were all freaking out. And all of a sudden, she like accelerate. The time my friend Dom walked from me to up the road, it's about 100 feet.
Mhm.
She's gone.
Dang.
Wow.
And
That's
he
intense.
flashes with his flashlight. Nobody was there. And to this day, I still believe it was a full bodied
That was
apparition.
a full.
Yeah.
Okay. Wow.
That's exciting.
Yeah.
I love seeing those.
Yeah.
It's so rare nowadays.
But the thing is, I had my camera, but I was looking like that.
Oh no! I hate that.
No, that's the worst.
When you have the
You need a
camera but
GoPro
it
on your head.
misses. or our issue is we have our camera and the audio's not on it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
or
yeah.
you haven't you're too stressed. You haven't pressed a shutter or something like that.
It happens. Technical difficulties.
Yeah.
But yeah. Hey, Spotted Ghost. There's my friend Spotted Ghost, the creator of Spirit Talker.
Oh, nice.
He's a
Oh, great.
genius, great guy, and awesome.
We'll probably have to get in contact with him for.
Yes, and he's very nice, and he's yes, Natalie. Remember, Natalie was there. Natalie Laplante in the chat, she was there, and she
Oh, she was
I'm
there?
Spot.
she was there that night at
Nice.
at the graveyard. She was on that tour, so
Oh wow.
she will vouch for it.
So tell me, how did you get started in
Oh my God.
exploring Harvey and everything like that?
It's special. It's really special. I'm a veteran. Back in 1995, I was a UN peacekeeper. I went to Bosnia Herzegovina, and you remember in the 90s, it was a war over there, and I was right there in the front line. At 21 years old, you come back and you have like little problems in your head.
Yeah.
When I was young, about 14 years old, I was always fascinated by everything paranormal, extraterrestrials, ghosts, Bigfoots, and stuff like that. We had a collection of books at our library at school about unexplained phenomena. And we had UFOs and ghosts, and I was always looking at that. Around late 80s, early 90s, I see a TV show, I think it was on CBS or one of the American channels, I think was 60 Minutes.
Okay.
And they had a program about ghosts and about EVPs and stuff like that. And the guy was like doing EVPs with like those big reels to to record.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
So I thought like, well, I'm gonna do it.
Yeah.
So I go to my sister's room. I borrow our tape recorder. I take a blank tape and pop it in and leave the recorder running in the living room all night. Like, yeah, right, idiot. I didn't know better, but I was that fascinated.
Yeah.
So 95, go in Bosnia, come back, really hard mission. Get out of the army, try to find my place in civilian life, and I couldn't find my spot. And 2021 was a really bad year for me, probably for the rest of the planet also, but I ended up in the psych ward.
Okay.
Because I practically, if it wasn't for my family and my kids, probably I wouldn't be here anymore.
Okay.
Because when I thought of them, I decided to empty the gun that I had in my mouth, and
Wow.
that's it.
Yeah. Well, we're glad you're still here, buddy.
Yes.
Thank you. And I'm really open about it because we have to talk about this, and especially people with PTSD. If you have problems, you have to talk about it.
Yeah, it's important.
Exactly.
It's
Mental
really
health
important.
is extremely important and nothing anyone should hide from or be
No.
ashamed of.
And especially when you talk with somebody that has PTSD, he
Mhm.
won't judge you. He's like you.
Exactly.
So,
Yeah.
Yeah.
uh, so uh, my psychiatrist, she asked me, "What are you gonna do in your life if you don't work? Your
Yeah.
life won't be fulfilled." I told her, "I'm gonna find something to
Mhm.
distract myself. Don't worry about me. Just get me off work so I can live the rest of my life with my
Mhm.
kids, take care of my kids, my family, and take care of me." So she said, "Yeah, but find something." And in that time, I was looking at lots and lots of YouTube, and especially mostly the Arabics community, especially exploring with Josh. By exploring with Josh, I discovered some UK explorers, like exploring with fighters. Dan discovered some in jazz. Discovered lots of explorers, and at first I wanted to explore abandoned spots. So I start looking at the abandoned spots here in Quebec, but it's rare. They're rare, or if they're abandoned like 2 or 3 years afterwards, they're destroyed, or they're like taking down to
Uh,
make place for
Yeah.
a mall or something.
yeah.
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 Exact same here. Yeah. That's the issue
Yes.
that we have.
And
Not too many historical sites, being left.
exactly, and I love history,
Mhm.
and by looking in the urbex community, I came by the ghost community because those are sometimes go together, and
Yeah.
some urbexers became paranormal investigators,
Mhm.
I might say. I
Yeah.
might say. And well, I got into those big ones, and exploring with Josh was one of them. And I was watching Josh, and because I love his explorers. But
Yeah.
when you went to the Conjuring House, then it lit something in my head. I said, "Oh, I can do this."
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I went, did a couple of investigation around where I live, and I had nothing on my YouTube channel yet. Nothing was on, and I was just chatting with people. And last year, I had the chance to go walking in Portugal,
Mhm.
literally walking.
Nice. Like backpacking or
Yeah,
Okay.
I went to walk the you call it the Camino, the Camino to Santiago. See,
Mhm.
it's the road to Santiago de Compostela. It's the road to the the um, the tomb of Saint Jacques, was one of the apostles of the Christ, and it's a pilgrimage. And the road we took was from Porto to Santiago, and it was 200 and so kilometers. I did 152 before I
Wow.
tore my ankle.
Oh
oh,
God.
geez.
And I wanted to do some ghost hunt on the way, and
Yeah.
but I was too much caught by the beauty of the place and everything. I was vlogging my the track that I was doing. I wanted to do something for the veteran community,
Mhm.
um, French veteran community. So I still have all the images. I'm just too lazy to edit it.
You gotta
But
post
You've
them.
been there.
yeah, I will have to post it, but now I will have to do it with like with subtitles. But but it was like a refreshing trek, and it was a trip that opened my mind, and I was supposed to get in touch over there with Sam and Jess, and whoops, something in my camera. Another paranormal investigator, and his name is Carl from Dark Arts TV, and I was supposed
Mm.
to meet them over there, and do some explorers and some ghost hunts with them. But I tore my ankle, so I had to come back to Canada because my trip was over. But I walked on it for 4 days because I wanted to do the crossing into Spain. So I crossed into Spain, but in Spain, I I decided to that's it.
You're
But
like,
anyway,
and we're done.
actually, it's not me. The doctor in Spain told me that the crazy Canadian's going back home. So when I got back home, I had a brand new computer waiting for me. I had footage, so I decided just to edit everything, just edit it and throw it in there. And um, I had the chance when did I didn't remember if I did the prison before. No, I did it after I came back. Yeah. After I came back from Portugal, and I met the guys from the Outcast. It was their first time at the Trois-Rivières old jail, and from there, it's everything started, and here I am today.
Wow.
1 year and 3 months. I started in June
Wow.
last year.
In June
wow.
last year.
Yeah.
Wow.
So it's been crazy. It's been a crazy journey. I never thought that everything would go so good so fast,
Hmm.
but I've learned that when you're authentic on YouTube, that you're yourself and you just go with it, like they say.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been a great journey so far. And
That's
Paranormal Highway,
amazing.
that's
It seems like you've done so much in just that year. In just a year.
Yeah,
it's
you're up to 25,
25,000,
25K. Yeah,
25.5K. It's
that's
it's
huge.
great. I've been using the promoting tool with Google Ads, and
Mhm.
so I've been using the promoting. I'm doing like a company. I'm promoting my
Right.
company.
Mhm.
So
Yeah, just marketing.
people, exactly. So people love what they see, and
Yeah.
they subscribe, and I'm really happy because
Yeah.
um,
And what's refreshing is you're so it's you. And you're so real. And it's
Yeah, you're such a likable guy.
yeah.
Too. Like I
thank
love
you,
watching your videos because I'm just
thank
like,
you,
one, I love your voice.
thank you.
I like the accent. But yeah, it's
My friend Angelo, he teases me sometimes with the accent. They say, "Oh yeah, he's got that that sexy French accent." But I find it funny.
yeah,
It gives me that little twist, that little my own kind of my own taste.
Yeah.
for sure.
Yes.
Yeah, my friend Eric, he's saying that I'm a clone.
That's funny.
Oh, that's so funny. So do you usually work with a lot of other teams and groups and
I
things
like
like
working
that?
with people.
Yeah.
I'm alone. I'm a one-man TV crew and shooting crew, but I love working with people.
Yep.
I'm a people's guy. I love meeting new people. I love having friends all over the world. So
Mhm.
it's in my personality. And when I went as a UN peacekeeper, and it's probably the army that gave me that, because when I
Mhm.
went as a UN peacekeeper, I was very, very young, and my friends, they told me, you represent Canada everywhere you're gonna go. You're gonna represent our country, so be proud and be yourself. Be Canadian.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So I just went out there and made friends.
There you go.
It's what I am. I went alone 3 weeks on the French Riviera, and I had so much fun, and I met so much nice people that's who I am. But if I'm alone, I'll go anywhere. I'm not really afraid. Like I always say, I'm more afraid from the of the living than the dead.
Yeah, it's the same. Yeah.
So in the graveyard, nothing can happen. You're just
Yeah.
having a great conversation with with ancestors and with people that were there before us. So it's just a great opportunity, I think.
It is.
Yeah. It's
I
an
think
amazing
so, too.
opportunity. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think what everyone wants to know is what's the scariest thing you've ever seen while ghost hunting? I know that's what I want to know at least.
Oh my God. And it's not on camera, unfortunately.
Those moments usually aren't.
I was
risk.
with my friends Lomar and Chelsea who were investigating the Dorchester jail in New Brunswick. And we just finished our investigation, and one of the signs was leaning on the wall, but like that. All right. It's a big picture of the mother who was one of the boys that will hang, because it's the site where the last double hanging happened here in Canada.
Wow.
It was 2 brothers, 21 and 19, 19 and 17 years old. 2 kids that were inbreed, and they were told by their mother to go kidnap the baby. And well, so that sign fell. But when it fell, it was quiet in the jail. So imagine the whack that it did.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I just let out a French curse that people that speaks in French are gonna laugh in the chat. I just said tabarnak, and Lomar and Chels just came running. Are you okay? Are you? I said I just heard something crash, and me and Lomar went to check, and all we saw it's that sign on the ground, flat on the ground.
Wow.
And Lomar and me said it was leaning on the wall. It was leaning, and when I took my camera, I took the time not to bump into it or nothing. And even if I bumped into it, it was leaning on the freaking wall.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's probably been there for years too.
That definitely probably would have made me jump and probably run
for sure.
Other direction for a little bit, and then I'd go back.
and the place where that sign was is the place where the hole was on the floor where the gallows was.
Oh wow.
So it was the place where the 2 boys were hanged.
Okay.
So yeah,
it
it
was.
was.
Have someone asking, what does it mean? The curse word.
It's a you know, every French curse words are they're a part of the church. So the tabernacle, it's the tabernacle. You know where the bread and the wine is kept, the little cupboard. It's called a tabernacle. But in the French language, especially in French Canadian language, tabarnak, it's a curse. or hostie. Hostie it's the bread, the round bread that the priest gives you. That's an hostie. But that's a curse word in French.
Really?
Yes. Or Christ.
Okay.
But in French, it's Christ. So it's all those kind of or calice. It's the calice. It's the chalice.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
But in French, we say calice.
Okay.
So it's curse words. I'm gonna be really quiet
all
because
the
my
curse
kids
words,
are sleeping, right? And they're 4 and 7.
Don't want them picking up on those for sure.
So what do you have coming up, like upcoming new explorations, adventures?
I'm going back to the Hinsdale house on November 19th.
That is my favorite place. I
I'm
love
going
Dan.
back
I love
there
Dan.
and I'm bringing my friends, the Outcast, with me this time.
Awesome.
And this time it won't be snowing.
I went there during the winter too.
I went there last February. It was a snowstorm. I was driving in a snowstorm.
Gosh.
I come to the to the customs. The guy look at me, say, "Where are you going?" Hinsdale. You sure? It's like a snowstorm outside. Yep.
Yep.
Where you going over there? To Ghost Hunt? Can you park over there, please, sir?
Yep.
Oh my
But
God.
finally, I had a great time. I had an
Yeah.
awesome
What did you
time.
experience while out there? Now that like we have a place that like I've been to, you've been to. What did you experience while you were there?
It was kind of conflictual. I was
Okay.
feeling kind of like not really something ominous, but something really more curious.
Mm-hmm.
But I wasn't really feeling that demonic kind of presence that everybody feels.
Yeah.
I was alone in that house for 3 hours waiting for my friends, and I was sleeping on the couch.
Oh wow.
Every time I was waking up, though, I was looking in the kitchen. You know that window
Mm-hmm.
over where the sink was?
Yeah.
I was always looking at that window, and I was always like, somebody's gonna pop his face right in that window. I'm
I
pretty
feel
sure.
like there's more going on outside of the house.
And that's why
For
I want to
sure.
go this time without snow, because I want to go in the woods.
Oh, the
Yeah.
woods. Yes.
Yep.
That is one place I still have to explore it. Because when I went, like you said, it was snowing, it was super muddy. I tried to like go up the hill, couldn't get up. I was just slipping.
Yeah, but
But
we had crazy responses. We heard pacing in the stairs in the kitchen all night. My friend Angelo woke up in the middle of the night. Well, early in the morning.
yeah.
We finished investigating like at 4 in the morning. We had to leave at 11. So, and he saw a woman standing by the table.
Oh wow. Wow.
And he just like, I don't have the time. I have like 8 hours to go. And just went back.
Investigators get to that point where you're like, okay, just stop. I'm tired now.
Yeah, it's
Like,
bedtime.
Actually, Annette, I'm the guest of those two charming people. They're from Florida, I think.
Ooh, we're from Florida.
It's Annette, the Twisted Sister. I think she's from New Zealand. I think, yes.
oh, very cool.
A Kiwi.
Yeah. Oh, that's so great. Yeah, I remember sleeping at Hinsdale and well, not really sleep. I think, like you said, it was like 4 or 5 in the morning by that point. And I just heard from upstairs, you could hear like men talking.
Yep.
Just having a conversation. I'm like, we're all downstairs. Who's talking upstairs?
Oh yeah, we had a ball, and my friend Chelsea, she did we did 2 Estes session in there that went crazy. For the first time in my life, doing an Estes session, I was spooked. The entity that was there knew that I had a trigger with sounds, with like army sounds, like tanks and stuff like that. So through the radio, I heard tank tracks.
Oh wow!
And it brought me flashback. I just took the earphones out and it's just like, no, I can't do it. I heard a tank. I just said that. And then my friend Lomar said, no, he's got a trigger. And so I went like, no, you're not winning. I just went back in and I went, no, crazy Estes session, and we had
Mhm.
someone with us that had an attachment. So it was
Oh,
really
wow.
interesting. Yeah.
Wow. So I'm sure it got very interesting.
Yeah,
Ran so
it
quick.
was really, really interesting. So yes, I'm going back there on November 19th with my friends, and I'm trying to have another surprise YouTuber for them. So
Ooh,
Very
yeah,
cool.
very cool.
so I'm pulling
Well,
my
we're
strings
excited
throughout
to stay tuned and watch.
throughout
And if
my
you,
friends. I
yeah.
have one that I contacted, but he's got to get back to me. So,
Okay.
and I
Okay.
don't want to spoil because they're in here, and if I'm saying it, they're gonna know.
Hi, guys.
But I want them to get recognized as well, because they're great guys, and they're really, really thorough in their investigations. They're
Mhm.
really energetic. They have a great vibe, a great energy. So
That's
yeah.
awesome. That's
It's
So
always good.
awesome. Yes.
hey,
We
Colin, my friend from
Colin?
the UK, and he's probably gonna be in my hotel on my trip to the to the UK.
Nice.
No, but
Right.
I have a great friends over in the UK, and I'm planning next year to go to the UK in April.
Oh, awesome.
Oh,
Okay.
what part? Because I know a few people out there as well that do
I'll
ghost hunting and things like that.
I'm
I'll,
the only thing I know is I'm landing in London. I'm renting a car, and I'm driving all
And
over.
just driving.
Sweet.
That's the
I'm
way to
just
do
driving.
it. That's
But
the way
like
to do it.
the UK is like the size of Quebec.
Yeah.
So for me, driving 3 hours is like for me going to like Cornwall to investigate the prison over there and go to Ontario. When I go see my friends Lomar and Chelsea in Nova Scotia, I drive 10 hours.
Oh, yeah. Well, Florida, like one end of Florida, you drive 6 hours, you're still in Florida.
Yeah.
So that's why I thought like everything is really close. And my other friend Maisie Rose, she's in Scotland, and I want to go to Scotland.
Oh, Scotland is
Scotland.
definitely on my bucket list.
Yeah,
Looks
me
beautiful
too.
out there.
Definitely. That is so so not only do you just explore and travel Canada, you seem to go out,
Everywhere, right?
traveling everywhere.
Oh yeah,
Mhm.
I want to go and visit as much and explore as much as I can. Yes, I want to promote Canada. I want to promote
Mhm.
my own country. That's for sure. But I want to discover those places. Yes, I want to go do the Conjuring House at least once in my lifetime. I want to go to Waverly Hills. I want to go. I want to do those crazy places as well. But why 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 not going to where everything like started?
Right.
Where the oldest parts of the world are, and don't get me wrong, everything's old here too, but
Yeah.
it's more
I feel like
more
it like out there they hold on to the history more and there's not as much like buildup of
well, the buildings, like you have castles
malls.
that date back to the 12th 13th century, and the
Yeah.
oldest buildings we have
You
here
can't
is
find that, like at least you definitely can't find that here.
if you have an 18th century building, you're lucky.
Yeah. That's true too.
Yeah,
Yes.
so
That is really great. Oh wow, it's already been almost an hour.
hey, times fly when you have fun.
I know. Well, you definitely have to let us know if you ever come to Florida.
um this winter, it's like I have like really to to plan my schedule. Oh my god.
Uh-huh.
I was planning going down to Texas in February,
Okay.
but I was asked That's an exclusive to you. Hey, I'm giving you the scoop today.
Oh, all right. Yes.
I was asked to be in a movie.
Ooh.
Oh,
Can you tell us
awesome.
what movie?
It's a Sask. My friend Anthony is not here. It's about every. It's Sasquatch Secrets, I think. It's about the relation between the Sasquatch, UFOs, and the paranormal.
Ooh.
Awesome. That's
And
literally what we do.
and I
Is all
will
the
be
things.
the expert on the paranormal side.
Okay.
Nice.
And it's a friend, Anthony Exemplari. He's got a channel called Unidentified S4. Go and check
Okay.
him out.
I'm
And
gonna
he's got a movie director. The director is the actual AD, assistant director to Mr. Steven Spielberg.
wow.
So he's going to
Jeez.
be flying in from the UK. He's going to have Tom Marine as a producer. Lots of people are
That's
in the
amazing.
movie, and
Congratulations.
thank
Seriously.
you. He texted me this morning, say, "Hey, do you want to?" Because at first he wanted to hire me like as a cameraman or like to
Mm-hmm.
be part in more in the paranormal side. And today, just tonight, we said, "Yeah, no, you're gonna be the star of the. You're gonna be the paranormal expert." So,
Nice.
Awesome.
so I said, "Wow,
That's huge,
thanks."
man.
So I was really, really happy for that.
Yeah.
That's
So
awesome.
what are your views? We like to ask our guests is what are your views on, all things ghost, cryptid, and UFO? Do you
It's all
think they
related.
should all
Like
related?
it's all related,
I
but
like answers like
in
that.
between different dimensions.
Yes.
UFOs or extraterrestrials or extra beings, we call them,
Mm-hmm.
or whatever. They live like in certain dimensions. Spirits will be in other dimensions. And Sasquatch and cryptids will travel through another kind of dimension. But the thing is, do those dimensions sometimes cross over?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Can they go from one to the other? That
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. But I think I found out something.
Mm.
There's certain specific spirits, especially non-human spirits.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a spirit that I've been fascinated by for a while. He presents his name itself as Aldous, but I think he's actually a woman. His real name is Alice. And
Okay.
it's a cast out angel, and he doesn't know where to go. And he travels through Ouija boards.
Hmm.
Because every time I had an interaction with him, a Ouija board was used in a
So he
close,
always shows up during your Ouija board sessions.
not actually Ouija board sessions, but
Or
in places I will investigate. And
mm-hmm.
if I learned that a Ouija board was used, well, I will go 1 + 1. And the thing is, my friends in the UK, they had that name coming through, and they went to places that most possibly people went there with Ouija boards.
Hmm. So it's almost like a portal in a sense.
Kind of, yeah. The portals that are opened by Ouija boards are probably different portals that the portals we found like in mirrors.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So there's different kind of portals. And in my last investigation, I found out that there was kind of a portal where in the graveyard we were investigating, but was not the same kind of portal that is open through a Ouija board, because
Mm-hmm.
Aldous wasn't in that last investigation. I called for him, never showed up. never. And last investigation, not the one in the graveyard, but the one I finished editing today.
Yeah.
I had a full-on conversation with him,
Wow.
with him or her.
Okay. And
Interesting.
how long have you had this like contact or connection with?
The first time I had a contact with him was this summer. I was re-investigating a graveyard here in Quebec, in Trois-Rivières. It's called the Saint James Cemetery. It's an old cemetery. The flag bearer for General Wolfe on the plains, he's buried there. So it's people from like the late 1700s and 1800s are buried there. And it's known that everybody, it's in right downtown Trois-Rivières. So all the kids go there with Ouija boards. There's like night after night, you see people down in that graveyard with candles and doing seances and stuff. And when I went to investigate there, I had the name Aldous coming through. And I thought of my friends when they went to investigate in the UK.
Yeah.
And the first question I asked her, where you went to investigate, do you know if people used Ouija boards? They told me yes. All the places they had all this coming through. Went to investigate a cursed graveyard. It's really a cursed graveyard here in Quebec. It's called the Maplewood Cemetery. All this come back. We're on our way out. We have people coming in. And they tell us that the week before they came and they played with a Ouija board in the mausoleum where we were investigating.
Wow.
And all this came through. And it's during that investigation that I found out that Aldous was a cast out angel.
Okay.
Interesting.
So sometimes it's just like little things like that.
Yeah.
That you have to keep in mind, because when it happens like time after time after time after time, just try to remember what is the common factor with all those investigations, and then you'll get probably on one, oh yeah, this, or you have like a spirit that comes, oh, do you have an attachment? Sometimes it's not really an attachment. It's probably the spirit that will travel through certain portals, but he likes you. So he will follow you through these portals.
It's really interesting.
I think that's what happens with Mikey.
Yeah,
where
he has.
one of our teammates, he has almost an attachment, but not really an attachment. It started off as an attachment from a location that we investigated, and we haven't like seen or heard from him in a while. And then our most recent investigation, it came through and just started talking. We're like,
yeah, we had a whole conversation. Yeah.
We're like, okay, you're back.
We believe it to be extraterrestrial, though, correct?
Huh?
Oh yeah, I've seen lights in the sky that to this day I can't explain.
Yeah.
I was about 16 with friends walking my little hometown, see 4 lights in the sky, like coming like that, and all of a sudden they all go in different ways and so fast, like it's like, what?
Were they like an orange color? Because I've seen some that were like street lights, but like way up in the sky.
They were bright, but the way they were looking, they were like kind of changing. They were really, really far, but that night was a really clear sky, and the altitude that they weren't like near. They were really, really far, like satellite far. And one time was what my girlfriend, my wife, and my sister, my brother-in-law, and my niece. we're waiting for the Saint Jean Baptiste fireworks here where I live, and all of a sudden I say, "Hey, look at the satellite! You see, like that non-blinking light in the sky that goes."
Yeah.
But all of a sudden it goes whip, 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 and it's
And you're like,
gone.
satellites don't do that.
And everybody looks at each other. It's like, have you seen what I've seen? Yeah. And to this day, my niece still talks about it. And she's 23. She was about 11 or 12 at the time.
Mm.
And she
Wow.
still remembers it. So yes. And who are we to think that we could be alone
Yeah,
in
there's no way.
all
Yeah.
of this?
Yeah.
Come on.
Exactly. Exactly. The millions and billions of other galaxies that exist.
There's too many factors for us to
Oh,
not
yeah.
be the only
Oh,
ones.
yeah.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
cryptids and Bigfoots, yes,
Mhm.
because there's so much still to discover on Earth. Even to this day, they still discover new species around.
Yeah.
And my hello, Linda. um, my other theory is, um, you know that during probably about, I'm just saying a number like that, probably about 50 or 100,000 years ago, there was a massive glaciation,
Mhm.
and people from Europe and Asia crossed over by the Bering Strait and came into North America. Because you see at the Inus, and you look at the Inus, and you look at the Chinese or people from Asia, they kind of look the same.
Hmm.
And it was proven that their DNA is similar.
Yeah.
So, and it was proven that it was a massive migration of species that crossed over during that glaciation.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure that a Yeti could have crossed,
Hmm.
Mhm.
could have adapted to his new environment, grew, his hair became brown instead of being white,
White. Yeah.
and he adapted himself to his new environment.
Mhm.
And that happened not like overnight. That happened like through 1,000 years of evolution.
Yeah.
So I'm pretty sure that, and over here where I live, we have one of the uh, not one of the known cryptids. Um, you know the Wendigo?
Hmm. Yep.
You ever? Well,
Yeah, I've heard of that.
Mhm.
the story was written right here in Trois-Rivières. It was told to a Jesuit monk called Paul Lejeune right here in Trois-Rivières in 1636.
Wow.
And I'm part really diluted broad native, but I know have native friends, and one of my friends, his grandma used to told us that be careful not to become a Wendigo, and for us it was like just a joke, but
Yeah.
it,
But
it,
they
it
take
wasn't
it very
very seriously,
Very
because
literal and very serious. Yeah.
to them it was a way of life. Because if you're not part of the community, if you're not part of the community, if you don't help through the community, if you're not part with everyone, you will become a loner, you will become a Wendigo, and then you will to survive, you will have to eat flesh, and you know. So
Yeah.
and sometimes they would describe the person that would probably like cast out of the tribe, or and sometimes they could describe like Iroquois warriors, because they
Hmm.
would say that the Wendigo would hide behind the trees and pounce and attack you. that was the way of fighting of the Iroquois. So
Yeah.
Interesting. Now, is like a Wendigo, is that similar to like a skinwalker per se?
they're, I can't really say it's kind of the same, but
Mhm.
the Wendigo is a more uh, kind of mixed kind of cryptid. He's got like these antlers that
Yeah.
those stag antlers, uh, long face with dark eyes, long arms with 3 fingers. That's
Yeah.
really
Just like,
important because if you see
Uh,
scratches on rocks in threes, that's not a bear.
yeah, that can
Oh.
be
That's a
anything.
Wendigo.
oh,
And
okay.
I've seen scratches like that on rocks. And
Mm,
people say, no, that's bullshit. That's not bullshit.
yeah.
Now, I've seen scratches of bears when they sharpen their claw on rocks, and it's always in 4s. And I've
Yeah.
seen in 3s, and I don't know an animal that have like 3 claws.
Yeah. I'm trying to think. I don't.
Maybe a penguin.
Yeah, but not in Quebec. We're
Yeah.
looking far north.
Wrong area.
And a stag or a deer, it's 2.
Hmm.
And a moose is the same, it's 2. So it's really, that makes me think that it could they could really exist, because I've seen and I heard stuff in the woods. The investigation on at the Maplewood Cemetery, that graveyard is a graveyard built on the top of a native burial ground, because there were immigrants that came, there were loyalists that came into Canada during the revolution.
Hmm.
And when the government decided to grant them land, they just say, okay, there's Indians over there, just move them and settle there.
Yeah.
So they came and moved the Abenakis and used their land and their graveyard. So
Wow.
that's why we say that graveyard is cursed, because it is. Because the native, before leaving, they just say this land will never flourish, and it never did. The only thing left from that settlement is the graveyard. There's nothing.
Mhm.
And
Dang.
my friend Dom and me, we were hearing running in the bushes all around us. But at one time it was on one side, and right after it was on the other side. And on Spirit Talker, we had I'm a Shapeshifter coming.
Oh wow.
And the Wendigo is known to be a shape, kind of like a
Like
skinwalker to shapeshift. Yeah.
a shapeshifter. Oh.
And I've learned that the skinwalker is more like a pale kind of figure, more
Mhm.
like
Mhm.
crouched, more like a zombie like, but with long, skinny arms and legs. And they're most likely seen in the southwest part of the US.
Yeah. Probably where it's
Well,
warmer.
yeah, over here in Quebec, in most northeast part of the US, you would
Mhm.
find Wendigos.
Well, now we gotta go exploring.
Yeah. We got to make a trip up there.
I have
For sure.
creepy places. If you want to be spooked out, I will bring you to that Maplewood Cemetery. It's
We do.
it's one
100%.
of the most
Yes.
active. It's in the middle of nowhere. It's dark. There's a river not far. It's really really creepy and
Jeez.
active.
Yeah. Definitely on the bucket list for sure. That would
Yeah.
be.
Yeah, we're starting to want to explore more woods and everything. Now, I always ask questions, especially people who like do cryptids and search for them. Is how do you prepare yourself for when you actually encounter, I don't know, any of the other 50 billion animals that can come attack?
I don't know.
Like, you go with a backpack and a tent, like ready to go, and I'm like, but like our woods, we have like mountain lions
Mhm.
and alligators.
with known animals, I know how to deal with them, but with cryptid, I don't know.
It's like what,
Oh.
like even if like in Florida we have skunk ape, which is equivalent to Sasquatch and things like that. It's like, but what would I do if I did encounter? I'm like, I would most likely run the other direction.
Oh my god! And
I think I watched one show where they actually went out in the woods with guns and everything. Like
I would use a stick or
almost.
anything.
And I was like, I wouldn't do that. But for protection, I get it.
Yeah.
But the Wendigo, he's kind of more of a curious kind of being, more than an attacking one. He's the kind of being that he's gonna make you become mad before attacking you.
Okay.
So he wants to get you so much disoriented that you're gonna be his. So you're mine now.
Yeah.
So and it is said in the legend that the Wendigo will always go for the weakest and not the strongest, because he knows that the weakest, well, he's a better prey. He can screw with him more easily than the one that he's got to hold his head. So pretty spooky, but well,
yeah. For sure.
I've seen worse. And that's probably what makes me kind of a good paranormal investigator, because I won't say I'm fearless, but if there's no guns shooting at me, I'm good.
Yeah.
I'm good. And I'm so fascinated that what's happening that I don't really think of danger.
Okay.
If my spidey senses are like lit up and like get away or get out or watch out, then I'm gonna listen to myself and I'm gonna get the heck out of it.
Yeah, definitely always go with your gut feeling. I just feel like, well, it's funny. So I've been in Florida for a year. New Jersey, I feel like I was way more fearless and like going into the woods and not being afraid or anything. But Florida is like on a whole other level of like crazy.
It's the Australian outback of America.
Yeah.
Everything wants to kill you.
Like at times I'm like second guessing. I'm like, We do have a good question.
Yeah.
Let's see. Animals act differently during full moons. Do you think Wendigos or skinwalkers and those entities act differently too? What about like during the annular solar eclipse?
I would say yes. I don't have any proof of that, but I would say yes, because just think about the Aztecs and the Mayas. They venerated the sun, and by venerating the sun, well, when a solar eclipse arrived for them, it was like something made by the gods. So and it was really special for them. They did like ceremonies and everything, but I would be really curious to know what happened, because they had other practices than we had, and all their knowledge is kind of lost, and they knew things that we don't know. And if we would know like half of what they knew and the Egyptians knew, probably a couple things would be more different.
Yeah, I feel like they were closer to the stars than we were, like a lot closer.
Yeah. Finding little statues that look like astronauts or aliens. It's like for them it was the gods. Like, come on, that guy looks like a freaking astronaut. Do 1 + 1.
Yeah.
Probably they were coming more at the beginning of the civilization, because I don't know, humans were dumber, and for them they would represent God, but the smarter human race became, the less they came, because they probably, we grew smarter, but I don't know, stupider. Because everything we see coming from the sky, it's a threat. It's a threat. It's gonna.
Yeah, it's they know that if they came back now, we would just shoot them out of the sky, pretty much, or
That's it.
It's more war now than anything.
Yeah, and probably that, I don't know, that some of those civilizations disappeared because the beings that knew about them, or the beings they knew about, didn't want them to know about them, so they just like erased that civilization.
Yeah.
Because the Egyptian, all Egyptian civilization, there's none, even one people that can say, "Oh, I'm purebred Egyptian."
Yeah.
No, you're not. You're Arab.
Yeah.
The real Egyptians don't exist anymore. The Mayas don't exist anymore. The Aztecs, they don't exist anymore. The Olmecs, they don't exist anymore. Where are they?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
It's like
everything
we're
we
still trying to
find,
figure that out.
everything we find about them, though, it's like mind blowing.
Mm-hmm.
Pyramids, temples that are built, like, even with our cranes today, we can't even build that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I do think
we can't recreate how they created those structures to this day.
Yeah.
You know, we have our theories and everything, but it's
also interesting. Some of the hieroglyphics, if you look at them, it shows like people putting up obelisks, or the stones that are they're the same size as them. So it's curious to say maybe there were more like giants back then, that were building them.
They found bodies like skeletons. I don't remember where, but like the bones were huge. They were huge beings, but where are those beings now?
Yeah. Well, they say a lot of mountains, like mountain areas, are bones of the giants.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you look at some of them, it's kind of compelling. You can see it.
Yeah. Well, I think I was like a few years ago, I remember reading something regarding like Easter Island and the heads like that are all around the island. Finally, I'm like, I don't know why it took so long. They decided to dig it up and realize there's a whole body.
Yep.
They
thought it was just the top part.
They just thought it was like just here, and it's like a whole body with all hieroglyphics written on it that they're still trying to depict. And I'm
and
I'm like, Lord, why did it take so long for someone to dig that up and see?
And I don't know, probably, and that's that's the problem with the human race. It's that we I don't know why, but more technology we have, more we depend on that technology, and we don't really go into depth anymore into researching for stuff and really looking different, not one dimension, looking many dimensions.
I think Maisie said it best. As humans progress in modern life intelligence, we lost our ability to understand the living earth and the old ways and intelligence.
Exactly. Thank you, Maisie. Thank you, Maisie. And that's about it. But there's a certain period of time that human beings
Mikey's here.
How's everyone doing today?
Mikey.
And how you guys doing?
Good. How are you doing?
Good, thanks.
I'm doing all right. I'm a little late, but better late than never, right?
Yeah. So there's a certain part of the human race that humans seeing beings coming for the sky, for them it wasn't a threat. For them it was the gods coming for them. So they were venerating those gods. For them it was like and for the extra beings too, for them they felt safe.
Mhm.
So that's why they came.
Mhm.
They stopped coming when they started feel threatened.
Mhm.
That's my theory, because I'm pretty sure that in a certain period in time, one ruler, one king, one emperor came and said, "No, they're not gods. They're a threat. They're here to to kill us," or you know,
Mhm.
and starting throwing rocks at them. So they probably just say, "Okay, we're gonna
Yeah,
go, but you know too much, so
Mhm.
we're gonna erase you."
yeah, and that might have been around the same time they stopped doing like human sacrifices and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So we don't know. We just have theories, but
Yeah. Oh, I feel like we could go on about this subject. We're gonna have to have you back and
Yes.
like have specific subjects, especially ones like this, because we could definitely
Yeah.
talk all night. You know.
I,
Um.
I read so much stuff. I still read books
Yeah.
and stuff about science. I've always been fascinated by science.
Mm-hmm.
Was my
Continued
strong,
education is key, especially in this field.
yeah.
Yeah.
So and I go always. I love having interaction with my devices,
Mm-hmm.
but I always keep a kind of neutral mind that's saying, I won't go into that I being possessed thing and everything. Eh, I'm still kind of cold on this part, because I've been told by a medium that to be possessed, you have to leave your body. Your spirit have to leave your body.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
Your spirit have to be replaced by
By
somebody.
another. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And when a medium tells you that, well, I kind of go with her, and she's a very 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 good medium. It's my friend
Yeah.
Leticia, and Leticia told me things that other mediums told me that they didn't know about, and it's too, yeah,
On the nose. Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah. So
Uh,
yeah.
let's see. We got.
Hmm.
Oh, now before. Let's see. Before we start signing off, is there anything you want to say? Anything you'd like to promote? Anything?
Come and watch this Friday. Come and it's gonna be the John Johnson Manor House, Sir John Johnson Manor House. Crazy investigation. I went there. It was during a public investigation that my friend Elliot organizes, and I had the chance to be sleeping there, and I discovered lots of things. I had my friend Aldous coming through, and yeah, so a crazy investigation,
Oh,
lots of
great.
stuff coming, and yeah, check out the Halloween merch.
Awesome.
I got 4 cool designs that
And
are
where can they
really
find the merch?
on my website on exploringarly.live.
All right. Awesome.
Nice.
Thank you so much for coming on. We definitely we're gonna speak
Yeah.
separately, but we're definitely gonna have you back on. And I think us having like specific topics, especially when it goes into the ancient history and things like that, I'd love to have you on and just discuss that
It's gonna be my pleasure.
all night.
Awesome.
Yes. Thank you
Well,
again. Thank you everybody for who's tuned in and watched us. You can go back and rewatch the live stream on Harley's channel, on Florida Paranormal Investigators channel, as well as That Was Spookies, both on YouTube and Facebook. So
yeah. And thank you, Jeff, for hanging out with us and coming
yes,
on.
thank
Definitely.
you.
It's been a pleasure. Thank you for having me. Thank you very much.
Yeah, of course, buddy.
Yeah. Thanks, guys.
All right. Thank you, guys. Have a good night. Bye, everybody.
Bye.